manages all of the operations, the organization's operations and activities. Bill, it's nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You don't know how long I've been wanting to come to Asheville. You don't know. Before we begin, I want to ask a quick question. Is Kathy still here? Kathy, is there anybody with the media that's still here? Anybody with the media? Raise your hand for me. Who are you with?
Daily Planet.
Daily Planet. Superman. Thanks. Next.
Asheville Citizen Times.
All right. Great. Kathy? Well, there was a news crew here for a minute or two. If you could call that news crew, tell them we're going to talk about Paris Hilton. And Nicole Smith. We want to get the important news here, and everybody in the media, I hope you'll appreciate my statement. Paris Hilton is not news.
No.
We're going to talk about some news because we're here to talk about saving the country. Now, this is no reflection upon you personally, being from the Asheville Citizen Times, but if you could, and this is not a reflection upon the Action Club, this is William Ghenn of ALIPAC, please tell the people at your company they're fired. They're fired. There used to be a saying, never fight a man that can buy a barrel of ink for $20. Everybody heard that one before?
I've done it a long time, baby.
Never fight a man that can buy a barrel of ink for 20 cents on the internet. Through that camera right there, more people are going to hear what I have to say and what you have to say here today than the entire readership of the Asheville Citizen Times. That's the way it's going to start working in this country because the print media has failed miserably at their job. Did they ever tell people what was on your billboard, or did they ever tell them that it was real, what the picture was from? Did the Asheville Citizen Times ever explain that? Did they? I don't think they ever told people. They thought it was more like something you made up. The flag was something you made up to make a point. They never explained to the people that read about it that that actually happened and a bunch of illegal alien kids ran that Mexican flag up over Old Glory upside down. And that's why, and then I got to mention that from the get-go because the media and the failure of the media to question things. They're supposed to question things, not be the corporate lapdogs speaking for the open borders lobby in this country, and in their absence, talk radio and the internet and the bloggers are getting it done today. We stopped that Senate bill in the first round. Now real quick, I want to mention something about Asheville. I wanted to get up here because great talk radio, Action Club, a lot of activism, but also this is where my family originally came to North Carolina from Pennsylvania a little over 100 years ago. My great-great-grandfather came here to help build the Biltmore Estates, and my great-great-grandmother was a pastry chef in the Biltmore Estates. And so my family came this way via Pennsylvania, and legally I might add, and because we are a nation of legal immigrants. And by the way, you're going to get, when you go out there, because I'll teach you, you're going to go out there and fight back, you say, oh wait, what are you talking about enforcing laws? We're a nation of immigrants. Well, guess what? Every single nation on the planet is a nation of immigrants. Oh, well, we're descended from immigrants. Well, that makes you special with the other 6+ billion people on the planet that are all descendants of the immigrants, including the Native Americans. All right? They want to play semantics. They want to play with words to defy what is common sense here. And behind, I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes of this. You guys already know illegal immigration is bad, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need to cover the 100 and 200 reasons other than some people being concerned about the color of their skin to describe that. You already know more needs to be done to control illegal immigration, right? Right. So we don't need to get into any of that. We need to get to the root of it. We need to get to the core of it. And it involves my family, why they were here. It involves Senator Richard Burr and this Senate bill. Corporations actually start to like socialism in a sense if they run the government. When they can tax you and you never see the money and it's back in their hands to a hospital, the military, or something else, it becomes quite a lucrative, no-bid contract type of situation. And the situation we have today, Mr. Dunn started off the quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and I joke about this, but I wish we could get Teddy Roosevelt's DNA and clone him and bring him back because he'd be on the border so fast to make your head spin. And he had a lot of these CEOs and a lot of these traitorous politicians in D.C. in jail. The problem in this country goes to the very foundation of what has made this country a great place. The fundamentals of the rule of law. And it bugs me when the president comes out, slurring his speech slightly, yucking it up and joking around with everybody and says, well, we need to restore the rule of law. Well, that's not the question, Mr. President. Where in the world did it go under your watch? You're talking about one of the fundamentals of this country. It went somewhere, we're going to bring it back. But where did it go, Mr. Bush? And this is why we're winning with the public. We're winning with the public because we know over 4 out of 5 Americans want enforcement and border security and not this amnesty. But we're winning because they have to come up with these elaborate descriptions and try to wash you when you can beat them back with the simplest comment. It's how we beat Jim Hunt when he tried to give in-state tuition to the illegal aliens. He was there singing his spell, speaking at the podium, everybody's head was nodding. Oh, we're going to help poor, disadvantaged, illegal alien kids and whatever. And I had just one question when I tried to ask it at the press conference. My old boss on the Senate Sergeant Arms about strangled me. But I got to ask that question. I said, Jim Hunt, rest of North Carolina legislators, what do you have to say to the sons and daughters of North Carolina that won't be going to college in the limited seats of college if you pass this bill? And that was the question. And it brought it all down. That's the question that the media didn't do their job to do. That's the question that never appeared in the Asheville Citizen-Times. But these corporations, and we're not just talking, somebody said big American corporations. We're talking about global corporations here. And the way they're using the word, I say I'm a North Carolina native. And some of the ones that don't like us, they call us nativists for being concerned about illegal immigration. And the president's report just came out, was talking about native workers. And I got to tell you the truth. I'm not entirely comfortable with these big money people using the term native to describe us because it almost sounds like we're the indigenous population found on some mine they want to drill. Okay? It's not a pleasant term, and I prefer the term American. Yeah. Mr. President, we are Americans. Now, everybody's heard about this bill, what's going on. But you haven't been told the full truth about the bill. There's so many. Mr. President Bush said that you're not a good American if you don't like the bill, and of course you can find one thing to pick at. And there are hundreds of things to pick at in this bill. But I'm going to talk about the fundamentals. Why does big money want this amnesty bill? And here's the best solution we have, because first of all, we already have what they're describing as a silent amnesty. Now, I don't think it's that quiet, personally. Especially when I'm picking up the newspapers every day and reading about another North Carolinian plowed down, gunned down, shot up by illegal aliens. Wasn't kept in here, and I don't hear a lot of quiet in this room right now. I'm not being quiet. Silent amnesty. Well, big corporations, they already have a silent amnesty given to them by the Bush administration. And they already have open borders. The Border Patrol is under orders to only catch and release, do not pursue, and if you attempt to do your job correctly, you'll end up in prison. The guy up at the Canadian border that let Mr. Tuberculosis through probably got word that doing your job as a member of the Border Patrol will get you a prison sentence. Okay? So the big companies, they've got open borders. They've got a de facto amnesty. Why do they want this bill now? Because what we're talking about is Senator Burr and Senator Dole, they're being asked to rubber stamp and sign off on what's already being done. They didn't authorize this. They didn't oversee this, which means you didn't have a choice in the process. So they're basically rubber stamping something someone else has done. And I want to stop right there because there's another, since Mr. Dunn did my Roosevelt quote. By the way, this is Jim Palmer, our press director over here for ALIPAC. And Jim's one of the leading key organizations there. I didn't get a chance to thank him enough. Teddy Roosevelt, the Vanderbilt family, was considered to be part of what was called the robber barons. And not the gentleman that built this thing specifically, but his family money came from the shipping industry. Because big business got so out of control in this country that the American public got fed up at the disadvantages, because we have a history in this country of reconciling what's good for the nation and what's good for the people of the nation